Imagine a camp that has everything to offer for the young and not so young.
Making dream catchers or dissecting owl pellets.
That's what you'll find at Wolf Ridge Environmental Center in Finland, the perfect learning ground for grandparents and grandchildren looking for a unique adventure this time of year. So what's there to do across this 1,400-acre campground? Just ask these experts, four-time campgoers Jean and Luke Jones.
He's learning different things, and I think we get along so well together. Maybe that's why he likes to come back.
Getting along means working in teams with each other and other families, tackling challenging outdoor activities that test the body and mind.
It's fun to be in a team with 2 or more people because you can work and do stuff better than working alone and have more ideas.
And strengthen relationships at the same time.
Luke is one of the grandchildren. I have 5, but he is the one, I think, with whom I'm closest. And it might not only be because of Wolf Ridge, but I think that is part of it, because he really enjoys being here, and so do I.
If you think canoeing and rock climbing in the summer are a challenge, try hunting and hiking in 2 feet of snow. That's right, this campground is open year-round, and the chances to bond with each other and nature are endless.
Jean and Luke were put to the test last winter.
We cross-country skied, we did snowshoeing, and it was all outside. They did not cancel any programs, no matter what.
Even when the going gets tough, workers say that's what Camp Wolf Ridge is all about.
You should have all children in here, not grandmothers.
And when this one-week adventure is all over, families pack up and go. But not before looking back at the friendships formed, lessons learned, and for some, looking ahead to another summer or winter of some of the best experiences the outdoor has to offer. In Finland, Corrine Winter, News 6.
Yeah, there is. People I've never seen.
Meeting new people, saying hello to old friends, and having fun. That's why all these Lincoln Park residents are out.
It's wonderful. It's just an evening where you get to know your neighbors, people that you don't normally see on a daily basis. We come out on a beautiful night and just have a good time.
I'm surprised. There's a lot of people out I haven't seen before.
I just talked to a couple friends, ate a hot dog, got some pop and stuff to drink, you know.
All night long, hundreds of people ate, drank, and got to know each other.
It makes community look good that it supports itself and we all look out for each other and truly care about one another.
People from all over Lincoln Park have come together to develop unity within the community. And just like the stock car, they're fired up and roaring to build a much stronger, safer community.
It's also a chance for neighbors to consider setting up a community watch program in their own neighborhoods.
And those same strong people in these neighborhoods are the same ones that will fight crime, won't tolerate people being inappropriate in their neighborhood, and that's where it really makes a difference, makes a huge difference. We can't do it all.
Well, as you can see, I got a black eye, you know, and I just want this place to be a lot more peaceful.
These people hope having a friendly night out in a welcoming atmosphere might build a better community for all to enjoy.
I really like this neighborhood. We've been here 15 years now, and we plan on staying for a while. It's a good place to be.
Do you think it's pretty cool that the whole neighborhood is coming together?
Yeah. Then you ain't got to worry about people saying, I don't know you, and you know me, and you know everybody.
Because it's just bringing everybody closer, making it a friendlier West End.
In Lincoln Park, Jody Grayson, News 6.
Thank you, Your Honor. I didn't know if Mr. Fuller wanted to make an appearance in a statement. Yes, I do.
Please be seated. State your full name and spell your last name.
Derek had several conversations took place between himself, the defendant, Patrick Peterson, about whether Patrick was okay with. Thank you, Your Honor. I didn't know if Mr. Fuller wanted to make an appearance in a statement related to his motion that was filed at this time.
Row after row of almost every kind of car you can imagine. Everything from Corvettes to Mustangs, all kinds of models, all sorts of years. Some owners looking to sell, and others just showing off.
It's not really showing it off. It's a lot of come and look at the other cars and getting ideas and well, a little bit of showing off, I guess. But
Mike Peterson and Chris Percola each own Chevelles. They rebuilt them together and now proudly display their hard work.
Work nights after work, 2, 3 in the morning. On his car and my car, worked our butts off.
It takes a lot of work, and you got to be possessed, you know, because it takes a lot of money to get all the parts on time. And
nights of practically no sleep help these friends accomplish their task.
yeah, we do like them. They ride real nice, and we both have families, and you can fit, you know, 4 people in here real easy, and it's comfortable.
Although their cars are similar, the guys work extra hard to make each one different.
It doesn't have to be like anybody else's car. You can pick the tires you want, the wheels you want, the motor.
But when it comes to motors, all of these cars seem to have one thing in common: noise. In Duluth, Jody Grayson, News 6.
It's a whole different way of farming. It's a lifestyle thing, and we've chosen the lifestyle.
John Fisher Merritt has been an organic farmer for the past 26 years. He only has 6 acres at his Renshaw farm, but supplies enough vegetables to feed more than 150 people. People purchase a share of the farm's production and get fresh vegetables all during the growing season.
This year we started the 15th of June, and our season will go through the 15th of October. Every week, people get a delivery of everything that we can grow.
During our visit, it's time to pick the yellow and green zucchini. Many are too big or odd-shaped and simply tossed aside. Only the prized veggies make it to the market.
You can't buy a nicer yellow zucchini than that. You probably can't even find one in the grocery store. Because that's perfect.
Surprisingly, John says it's not that hard to grow organic. He uses his chickens to fertilize pastures that have been planted with clover. Then the ground is ready for growing next year. And he has more pride in his product than a so-called factory farmer.
The farmer has gotten to be a heavy equipment operator and a dangerous chemicals applicator. And, you know, that's not my idea of what is sustainable for the long term for the human family.
It's a belief along with a profession, a true way of life not found much anymore. Growing the old-fashioned way, producing healthier foods and happier families.
It isn't just that we're martyrs out here trying to be pure, because we cut every corner we can. If there's an easier way, we do it. But we aren't going to poison ourselves in the process or anybody else.
In Renshaw, Maureen Tallarico, News 6.
The Duluth Entertainment and Convention Center was designed to house large groups of people, but is it big enough to cater to the needs of the National Reform Party?
You're looking at a total capacity for up to 6,000 people very comfortably. We do have first-class meeting space in the convention center, which is something our competitors don't have. So that's to our advantage, and also the location right in a downtown area and on Lake Superior.
In 1996, thousands of people showed their support for the Reform Party and presidential nominee Ross Perot. Today, all eyes were on Duluth, one of the places Minnesota Party leaders are eyeing for the next national convention.
I'm impressed. In fact, I didn't know that Duluth had as much to offer actually as they do when you look at holding a national convention. I know when you bring it to Greater Minnesota, a lot of people say, how can you have a national convention in Greater Minnesota? It's easy. You just need to think outside the box.
Although their attention was focused on the convention center, their eyes were drawn to the view and all that the city of Duluth has to offer.
Oh, this convention would be huge for the city of Duluth, not only in terms of
economic impact of a convention, but we're looking at the national and international media it would bring to Duluth. That's publicity we can't buy.
Governor Jesse Ventura is the hottest name in the Reform Party movement. Minnesota Party officials believe the best place to have the convention would be in the state that made Ventura so popular.
We think that we can put on a national convention in great style. I think Governor Ventura simply adds to that aspect of it because it'll be a great opportunity for us to showcase what we can do for the National Reform Party.
And set the example for other states throughout the nation. In Duluth, Jody Grayson, News 6.
Oh my gosh!
Holy cow, it's riveting. Wait, get it on video, Brent. We'll put it with to KSL.
You just felt the wind connecting with the ground, and then just immediately when it connected, stuff started going back up again, and you realized it was huge objects flying in the air.
You guys, stay out of there.
I'm looking for something. You see all these cards? I just noticed one. I watched that thing fly from over there.
We just held on to on the cement pit.
Honey, go towards the temple.
To get out of the office. It's always great. I think we agree to get out of the office. Oh, and the other thing I'd like to also over the fact that I understand the population there is what, about 200? Somebody told me that. So again, we felt it was very important to show in a governor's opener, we don't base it upon how large the city is.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it all. And I'm a blues fan, especially, and I just think it's all great.
People enjoying this year's Blues Festival just can't help but move to the groove of the live bands.
Oh, it's been great to have the sun come out, no rain for a little while, to have this great music going on. It's just wonderful.
I said, what works good for me? But it's not just the soulful tunes that bring people out. While some folks are getting down, others are happy sitting down and relaxing.
All the people, it's fun watching all these people. A lot of different people here.
But there won't be as many people this year. Organizers have scaled back the event because of the nearby construction on the aquarium.
Why they building something over there?
Carolyn Woodson has been coming to the Blues Fest for 10 years and says she notices the change.
Yeah, I was disappointed, because the first time we started coming, it was a lot of room, and then the last few years it's been so many people you couldn't hardly see the grounds.
Because of the construction, the amount of available space has shrunk from about 12 acres to 7. But true blues fans say they're having just as much fun as ever.
The construction going on around here, I had a little hesitation about how that would work, but it doesn't seem to be making a big difference.
A few less people, but it's doing great. Everything's going great. The people that are here are stupendous.
Blues fans here say they're not letting anything, including the closer quarters, spoil their fun. In Duluth, Kim Kaiser, News 6.
I think it's important that the citizens make this choice, not legislators. When you're changing the Constitution, I believe very strongly the citizens do that. not our elected officials.
Strong words from Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura, who's trying to drum up equally strong support for his unicameral push, which he says would create a one-house government, reduce the lawmaking body, and bring government back to the people.
Make the public good the center of debate, and re-engage citizens in the policy-making process.
Ventura's plan would also save taxpayers more than $20 million a year, promising figures for unicameral supporters like Tom Wright.
Just like he says, that it's duplication, and duplication costs money. And we're in the area that we live in, we can afford to keep all the money up here that we can.
But not everyone supports this government change. Ventura's plan is getting strong opposition from state lawmakers who say this one-house system reduces voters' ability to control government. As for saving taxpayers money, they say these savings would be marginal. The governor says he has a lot of work ahead of him, not just in convincing the public this change is in their best interest, but convincing lawmakers who'll ultimately vote on whether to put the unicameral issue on next year's ballot. In Duluth, Corrine Winter, News 6.
Have all these interactive exhibits for they may be for children, but and this is called pan construct, and so you can see the walls are going to be just about 18 inches to stand right here and look into this particular aquarium and look through that window and see these beams right here. And so you can stand here. This right here, what I'm standing on, this is going to be a semicircular acrylic right here. This is a semicircular window, so you can stand where I'm standing. You can have water all the way around, and then you can look that will be installed in this once this form is taken out of here. On the rock, and so we can track the ships, whether they be right in the harbor or else. And I don't know, regular type of butters. Yeah, butters. That'd be in the case. Active exhibits for they may be for children, but
to live in moving water.
Let's pull it off.
No, help with the skier.
Whoa, look at that. Oh, that red tail is beautiful.
Everything is going to be nice and tight. Right here, and this is going to be one huge piece of stand right here and look into this particular aquarium and look through that window and
my friends live here.
Did you?
Go to the Get My Schedule over there.
I don't get it. I am so confused. Skinnies then.
Well, you're freshmen. You're supposed to be confused.
Student and staff members at Northwestern High School are headed back to school. Freshman Katie Wilbur is a first-year student. Her English teacher is going on his 25th year, but they have a lot more in common than you think.
What do you want me to do with this?
Minimize that.
Okay. It's kind of nice because I've heard that freshmen get picked on, and I figure, I can just say, you want to talk to my dad about it, so that might help a little.
Having a dad who's also your teacher isn't a bad deal, especially for some students dreading the thought of entering high school. But Katie's dad says his daughter is no stranger to these walls.
Actually, Kate's been here every day since she's been born, I think, because her pictures have always been on my desk.
But the first day of school can bring on the butterflies. Orientation day means mingling with other freshmen, but that's no easy task.
Okay.
You're going to be in between classes now.
Okay, now we're going to lunch.
Now you go to lunch.
Okay.
Even for simple things like walking down the halls or eating lunch.
I kind of feel like I'm on the outside looking in because I hardly know anybody here.
But Katie has another familiar face in the crowd, her classmate and childhood friend, who understands exactly what she's going through.
It's not fun. It's sort of harder because when you're nervous already and you know that there's going to be kids there that have been there for a long time and they already know what to do, it's even harder.
Something not even dads can relate to.
Ready? Yes.
In Maple, Corrine Winter, News 6.
The North Shore isn't an area you'd expect to have to deal with the effects of flooding, but for residents near Highway 61, that's exactly what they do.
We've had it. I'm even thinking about moving. That's why I've been redoing my house. Get out of here because I've had it.
Ed Morris says he's frustrated. Every summer since 1996, his property has been taken over by rainwater that's detoured from a drainage system to his front yard. He's spent thousands of dollars repairing damage he says could have been prevented.
But years back, DM and I dished that thing every 3 to 5 years. And we never had a bit of problem. And now we do.
Ed and his neighbors blame their problem on both the Railroad Authority and the Highway Department. He says the problem started when the ditches along the tracks and the roads stopped being dredged.
Being the railroad hasn't dredged, water can't get there. Danny and Tracy's and all the rest of these people along here that I've talked with.
Ed and his neighbors have asked the agencies for help, but so far nothing has been done. Ed decided to take matters into his own hands by writing a petition and collecting signatures from everyone in the neighborhood.
Everybody wanted to know what they could do, and I said, well, I'll start it since nobody else wants to. I'll get it started, and we'll see it through to the end and see what we can do about getting some help around here.
Ed is hoping this time their plea for help won't be ignored.
So if they say it's not their problem, they're wrong. So someone's got to fix it. If they don't want to repair that up there, then they should be down here paying for our damage.
Near the North Shore, Jody Grayson, News 6.
Your daily routine in life is real important, and I think people's sense of safety has been seriously diminished in our country, and people have been allowed or enabled to hurt people and frankly get by with murder, a lot of them. It's a real scary situation, and not everybody follows the same set of rules.
I'll bet you I don't have any. Unless he by miracle died, he wouldn't have had any. Oh, he is.
Like we're packing our
I was
box.
going to ask yesterday.
The ribbons are tied, the buttons have arrived.
Something like that, so.
And once 25,000 posters are printed, these volunteers will be ready for the state fair.
We haven't died away. You know, we're still looking for Katie.
The search for Katie Poyer continues in Moose Lake, although volunteers have diminished in the 3 months since Katie's abduction. Only a handful gather at volunteer headquarters at the Hope Lutheran Church, but tomorrow they'll head to State Fairgrounds.
It's not a selling thing down there. It's getting Katie, her picture out there, her name out there. And
Family members hope these Find Katie buttons, posters, and ribbons will remind fairgoers Katie is still missing.
People are searching with their eyes down. They're looking for a body, and we have nothing concrete. So I just want to, to enforce, let's keep our eyes up also.
Meanwhile, eyes tear up as the effort to find Katie continues, and a mother refuses to give up.
If it takes, years, I can wait.
Yes, we're going to have a opportunity for the fans that come to the game on Tuesday night to be able to purchase Find Katie T-shirts, and all those proceeds again will be going towards the search effort. So, anything that we can do as far as an organization here in the community to help out, we're happy to be a part of it all.
They can't leave. They better not leave, that's for sure.
Mike Oscarson has been listening to the buzz about the Vikings' future on talk radio as he works at a local sporting goods store. Not only is he a big fan, but about half of what he's selling now is Vikings gear, from hats to jerseys, pennants to posters. He thinks the team doesn't need a new stadium, but says he'd be willing to support the Vikes to keep them in the state.
I just can't see the people of Minnesota letting the Vikings leave. I just can't see them doing that. But if it comes down to it and people don't want to pay, they could leave.
I think both teams will leave unless they get new stadiums paid at government expense.
Duluth Representative Tom Huntley has been watching the battle for a new twin stadium in the legislature. He thinks most taxpayers will not want to foot the bill for a new place for the Vikings to play either.
They don't want to use tax dollars to give to billionaire owners that have millionaire players so that other millionaires can sit in their skyboxes and watch the games. Well, why does the taxpayer have to pay for that?
Huntley says he enjoys watching the teams, but like many Minnesotans, he doesn't think the public should pay to keep them here.
Well, I think they make enough money. I think if they want a new stadium, I think they have enough money to build their own stadium, not have us build it for them.
But for the sporting goods stores that cater to the ultimate Vikings fan, the loss of the team would hurt.
I'd have to find a new team.
In Duluth, Kim Kaiser, News 6.
They've been going one a week, and that kind of tells you that if 3 out of 8 have gone, I would guess there's another 1 or 2 that are ready to pop.
Soon, the soothing shores of Lake Vermilion will welcome more people to enjoy the peaceful surroundings.
Yeah, you can see eagles all the time, landing in trees and watching for fish to go capture them in the lake.
Edward Feist has taken in the view many times from one of the cabins of his lakeside lodge. But after 20 years, he and his wife Elizabeth are auctioning off 9 of the cabins to private owners, which will form a planned community.
Now that the day is here, we're thinking it's really going to happen, and it is a sad feeling because we have enjoyed the resort very much.
That time of your life, I guess, to do something different. But we've enjoyed it all these years.
The Feists guess that the cabins were built between the 1920s and 40s.
Yeah, this is the kitchen galley, I guess you'd call it, and then back here is another bedroom.
Each cabin is equipped with a kitchen, a bathroom, and a fireplace, but that's where much of the similarity ends. Each has a special name and a special set of features. The Algiers cabin has about 100 feet of private shoreline and a little loft.
The closeness of it to the lake, you can hear the waves at night, which makes it very relaxing and peaceful for sleeping. It has a nice little loft for the children. Just loved it when they came to the resort, and it reminded them of a little house on the prairie.
In addition to the great view and the special design of each cabin, there's something else that will make this planned community unique: a spa and sauna for everyone to share.
The sauna is a wonderful place to sit at the end of the day and relax your tiring muscles from fishing.
From the relaxing whirlpool to the many enchanting places to view the lake, the Feists say it's been a wonderful place to live and raise their children.
We're really hoping that the new group of people that lives here love it as much as we have. It's a beautiful resort.
They say they look forward to sharing the beauty of the lake with their new neighbors. On Lake Vermilion, Kim Kaiser, News 6.
Choice alligator nuggets.
You can find about anything at the fair.
Alligator on the stick.
Or mini playhouses.
That one's got running water, electricity, a fake fireplace.
I'm wearing a ribbon, yeah.
But this morning, no more Katie Poyer ribbons available at the DFL stand.
Here's the boxes of the literature they were passing out and the buttons.
All the reminders of the missing Moose Lake girl banished to a back room yesterday.
I think it's crazy that the State Fair Board would say that singling out these people who are on such a righteous mission.
I'm just asking people down here to keep our eyes up.
Last week, Katie's mom, Pam, and volunteers set up shop here with the permission of the DFL.
I'm just asking if you would wear the pin throughout the fair season.
But the fair says every booth must be licensed, and the DFL's license doesn't include Katie's cause.
It's a high level of interest, and they wanted to be supportive. That's all very admirable and well and good. Our concern, however, is that what we do with one party, we must be prepared to do with everyone else.
Late start.
But after a meeting with the fair, Katie's friends reopen a makeshift booth this afternoon.
That's for Katie's website.
The State Fair says a license is in the works, proving the fair can be fair.
We just feel it's real important. This needs to be done. And where but the State Fair can you contact so many people at one time?
this is, you know, like eating. You can see we pulled up a piece of shale. We get
So the invertebrates that live in the sediment no longer have any food. So they die, or their size goes down. Now there's less food for the fish. And eventually that goes all the way up to the top of the food chain, and the lake trout population goes down because of this very subtle change of the zebra mussels.
Spelled correctly. Thanks for talking to me about this, though.
Pour out, and then the fine sediment passes out through the mesh, and the.
Oh yeah, and we finished a day ahead of time because the weather was so nice, and it was like this.
Getting kids to wear safety equipment is not as hard as it used to be. Some of the new gear is pretty cool, but it's still up to the adults to remind kids how important it is to always use the accessories. Kids love the accessories almost as much as their main mode of transportation. Teachers are tooting the horn of safety, and that means helmets as well as other things.
Do you play behind the parked cars? No.
Enrolling your children in a bike safety rodeo is a good idea. He or she gets a chance to see other kids taking safety seriously.
If a car's coming, you don't go in the street. You look both ways.
They've been very interested in learning about bike safety because these kids are at the age where they're learning how to ride a bike. And so they're very excited to share their stories.
They've also heard stories about why helmets are important.
In case you fall off your bike and crack your head open. Because if you crash, you might hurt your head and you could damage your brain.
When you're buying bike safety equipment, make sure it meets accepted safety standards. Look for a consumer safety sticker.
When you're riding a bike, you should watch where you're going.
And since we're talking about safety, let's talk about grown-ups. It's not just the kids who should wear helmets. Studies show that in 3 of 4 bike crashes, bikers get some sort of injury to the head.
I'd also like to maybe write my own video games or computer games.
Like most teenagers, Zach Cruz is looking forward to the future. Leukemia is a thing of the past for this Denfeld Jr. Diagnosed at 16 months, he was cured of leukemia at 4 years of age. Since then, he's been a typical active kid. Life, he says, is pretty good.
I've been in the Duluth Rowing Club, and I've been doing that for 3 years. And then I've had driver's training, which is pretty cool.
In 1990, Elizabeth Giving first told us what treatment is like for leukemia patients.
I was scared, and I did it, and I didn't know that I was supposed to have all these shots and everything. So, kind of hard to do everything, which was hard for me.
Thanks to doctors and medical research, cancer is just a long-ago memory for Elizabeth, now a Duluth East senior.
It'll be 10 years now that I've been cured from cancer.
That's remarkable. And the last checkup, what did the doc say to you?
I don't remember because I only have to go in once a year, if even that. Otherwise, they said I'm fine. And
medical research continues in the hope someday no child will ever have to suffer what Elizabeth and Zach did. On Saturday, September 11th, walkers will gather in Duluth to help fund that important research.
Last year we had our biggest number of walkers, and we raised somewhere over $8,000. I don't remember the exact figures. And over the course of the past 4 years, all the money raised has exceeded $25,000.
The ringing cash registers and packed checkout lines can mean only one thing this time of year. College students are back, and they're hungry.
We got some turkey and some salt and pepper. This is a must. And this, so our juice will fit in our fridge.
Pam Passo is about to take her first class at St. Scholastica, but she's already learning fast to pick up plenty of the ultimate dorm food.
And these are all of our ramen noodles.
The past few years we seem to always run out of the ramen noodles, so this year we made sure we had plenty here.
No noodle shortage to worry about this year. The huge display at Cub Foods holds 36,000 bags of the classic college concoction.
And you can tell all the college kids are back because you see so many from school around now.
When they're not filling their carts at the grocery store,
what else do we need?
Students are filling other stores, buying supplies to get them ready for a new school year.
Oh my gosh, I've seen pretty much every student I know up here at Target, so it really does. It brings, I think, a lot into Duluth.
I want this one.
That one will do.
They're picking up every necessity, from cleaning supplies to hangers to carry-all plastic crates.
You move into a dorm room, you need someplace to put your stuff.
So while employees restock the shelves and students keep stocking up their carts,
You need a trash can.
local businesses profit from the new rush of purchase power.
Are you buying that one?
Yeah, pass that one.
Are we just gonna pay for it all in cash?
I gotta charge mine.
In Duluth, Kim Kaiser, News 6.
Little stars. Stars on everything.
Cool. Thanks.
Nice.
It looks really nice, doesn't it, Ed?
Good. And Pamela refills. Go ahead, Judy.
Okay. And I wanted to do something positive, and so I started writing these songs, and it just came right from my heart. I mean, the words just wouldn't stop coming out, and then this whole collaboration with United Way Minnesota Power happened. It just was perfect timing, really. And
On 9/9/99, Computer Doomsday's dress rehearsal, the lights stayed on, the world didn't end. Airlines were as punctual as ever, and no worse. And somehow, in Washington, 9/9/99 never became a 911 constitutional crisis.
We haven't seen any problems, nor did we expect them.
On some older systems, 9/9/99 was a signal for the computer to shut down. And for Y2K warriors, another cue from the calendar to panic. Not Kelsey Driscoll, carefree in Columbus, Ohio on 9/9/99, her 9th birthday.
You don't think that, on 9/9/99 you're just going to shut down, do you? You sure? Do we have to do some tests on you?
In fact, many organizations did test their computers today for the Y2K computer scare ahead. But for Beulah Bechtel, 9/9/99 is just another birthday, number 99. And recent surveys show more Americans think Y2K will be just another candle on the cake. And for this Pittsburgh couple, 9/9/99 was no dress rehearsal.
Pronounce it you're a husband and wife.
Wedding bells at 9 a.m. on the 9th Street Bridge before 9 witnesses for newlyweds named Ninehausen. Which is how most of us hope to experience Y2K, as cause for celebration and nothing more. Mark Strauston, NBC News, Atlanta.
and gratitude as you have held Katie for these past weeks.
Words like beautiful, spiritual, and loved rang out at Holy Catholic Church in McGregor today as family and friends mourned the sudden death of Heidi K. Johnson.
Everybody loved Heidi. Everybody loved Heidi. Heidi was really cheerful, happy, smiley. She loved kids. Even when she was getting beat up all the time, she'd walk into your house and just start talking to the kids and being all happy. And, you know, she just was a fun person.
Heidi's life was cut short at the age of 37. Police say her boyfriend Nathan Clark strangled her to death in her Brooklyn Park home, a tragedy that her father Lewis says should have been prevented.
Pretty angry at the law enforcement part of it. They'd put him in jail, let him out, he'd suck her back in. He was in Aiken County for one charge, 2 times in Stearns County, 1 time in Hennepin County, 2 times in Brooklyn Park where he finally did her in.
Those who could see the signs of abuse encouraged her to get out of the relationship. They say she tried, but her boyfriend wouldn't let her go.
She had a restraining order on him. The police were there 3 to 4 times a week. Or if not the police, it was me or Diane, her sister, coming to pick her up. She was bruised up. He tried choking her before.
I mean, the warning circle's there. We tried to get her back. We really did. We tried so hard. I moved her a lot of times. She'd get back. And then the old thing, suck her back in, you know. I'm going to change and all that.
But things didn't change, and now Heidi is gone. Her family is hoping others in similar situations will learn from her tragic end to the vicious cycle of domestic violence. In McGregor, Jody Grayson, News 6.
There will be a sweet
All right.
Yep.
Try to move. I mean, we've been doing babies, which is really tough to hold still, and I mean, so we recommend every year if they can come back and redo it. Like Dave was explaining earlier, the older they get, the more still they are, and the better quality print we can actually get on the card. So.
Dad, I'm gonna go back there. I'm gonna get a new one. All right.
I just put it like that. I'm done.
Yeah, only me.
Fishing investigations, and we determine whether to charge them federally or state by on a case.
Residents and neighbors and in some cases informants are doing what they can to try to stop the flow of drugs here and trying to do something for their community. So
I think that sends the message to the drug dealers that it doesn't matter which side of the bridge you're going to stay on or which side of the bridge you're going to deal on, that we're going to be out watching for them.
The trailer where Katie Poyer was likely taken to, strangled, and murdered was burned to the ground overnight. Neighbors reported smoke to authorities early this morning, but the fire had taken its toll on the property when authorities arrived. Nothing remains of the former home of Donald Blum. Hours after the fire, portions of the trailer still smoldered. The cause of the fire is arson.
Well, we're pretty much limited. You know, we got an unoccupied trailer and we've got no utilities that I can verify at this point that we're on or connected to the place, so that in itself would lead one to believe that it's suspicious.
The trailer was moved off its original site so investigators could comb through Blum's property, looking for clues. Blum's attorney admitted bones found on the property belonged to Katie. After Donald Blum's confession last week, Deputy State Fire Marshal Mark Germain talked to Donald Blum about the fire.
I met with Mr. Blum this morning and he drew me a sketch. This was a bedroom down at this end here, kitchen, living room, and so on and so forth down the line.
All evidence inside the trailer was likely removed during the initial investigation. Nothing remains of the trailer's contents, and Germain says that upset Blum when he heard news of the fire.
Dismayed. You know, he was kind of bummed out about it. You know, it's not really his himself, it's his wife. That's now involved too, and their family.
But Blum's hurt feelings have few upset in this rural community. On the property, a cross stands at the burn pit. At his driveway, memorials to his young victim. A cross and wreath with Katie written on it. A rose on the gate to his property. For Blum, killer scrawled in spray paint on his mailbox. Tracking down who burned his home won't be easy. People have been traveling down the Kegler Road for days after Blum's confession, some out of curiosity, many out of anger, and most out of respect for Katie. In Carrick, Maureen Tallarico, News 6.
As long as there's a gag order there, I'm better off not discussing anything to make sure that we don't get into anything that I'm not supposed to talk about.
A chance to say goodbye. Katie Poyer's loved ones and the extended community family she gained over the last 3 months came together not only to remember a tragedy, but to celebrate a life.
I know that Katie's family and friends want to remember her not merely as a victim, but to remember Katie for her love of others and her love of life.
The tears couldn't be held back, and friends and family members held each other a little tighter as they remember the bright young woman now lost to them.
And she was a beautiful person because she was real and because she was unique.
Katie loved life and her friends. She was extremely family-oriented. She enjoyed her dogs Goldie and Riley, water skiing, fishing, Days of Our Life and the Green Bay Packers.
During the service came the call to lawmakers to help prevent similar deaths and disappearances.
Never again will we remain silent and passive so that our mothers and our daughters and our sisters can be assailed by violence. Violence that is fed by hate and envy.
The service was also a chance to say thank you to search volunteers, police, and Katie's family for sharing with the community their happy, vivacious daughter. But Katie's uplifting spirit couldn't ease their aching grief.
Katie may be gone from this earth, but her God-given love is going on and on and on in the hearts of so many people.
But Katie's uplifting spirit couldn't ease their aching grief as Katie's mother, father, and brother released symbolic balloons into the sky and said a final farewell.
Experts recommend that all parents ask their doctors to perform blood tests on their children for lead, especially if you have toddlers. That age group is the most at risk.
5-year-old Imani Studevant is on a special diet because she has lead poisoning. She was diagnosed when she was 2. It came as a surprise to her father because she had no recognizable symptoms.
A lot of the symptoms are symptoms that people could associate with just child behavior.
Imani got the disease after being exposed to lead dust from deteriorating lead-based paint. Experts say this is the primary cause of lead poisoning.
If there is lead paint on your wall and it's not chipping, peeling, or flaking, it's not going to poison you. But as soon as it deteriorates or somebody disturbs it, that's when it becomes a hazard.
Lead dust in young children quickly absorbs into the bloodstream and blocks brain and bone development. At low levels, symptoms could include hyperactivity, impaired growth, and low attention span. At high levels, there are convulsions, loss of balance, and learning difficulties.
There is no medical treatment that can cure a child or anyone else from lead poisoning, and lead stays in the body from 16 to 30 years and stores itself and continues to have damaging effects.
With extra help, Imani is now doing better.
Imani does have a level of brain damage that is irreversible. However, we've been very steadfast in getting compensatory services for her.
Studevant hopes other parents will test their children for lead poisoning before it's too late.
Lead-based paint is found mostly in homes built before 1978. Treatment for lead poisoning includes low-fat diets high in vitamin C, calcium, and iron.
Outside the mall and the wind is blowing down.
Much capacity, or do you have room to grow?
No, that's pretty much capacity for both programs.
We also knew that there are people in the community who don't have health insurance or whose health insurance doesn't cover physical therapy or whose benefits have run out. And so we thought we could provide a very valuable service while offering a great learning opportunity to our students.
Bring your wrist, bring your hand up towards your shoulder. There you go. Just like that.
Jane Morley, J-A-N. Oh, here, okay. How do we have to practice on each other? Because we have some realistic experiences before we go on the entry.
It's what you call a day trip. Sometimes we have other ladies with us, but today we're just doing it on our own. And
See, we come up one side and go down the other. We kept Wisconsin, we're going back on Minnesota. We'll go as far as we can and watch our time. We might get to Gooseberry, and we'd even like to go to J. Cook Park on the way back.
Usually this time of year, everybody wants to come up and see the change of the leaves, you know. Usually get pamphlets and that sort of thing, and we put in the cabins, and they make up their own mind where they want to go. We're filled during the week too right now. A lot of them expect the leaves are going to change early.
You do see yellow and brown, but when you see that bright red, especially contrasting with the green, you can't beat the view. I don't care. I've been in other parts of this country and up in Canada, and you can't beat this, I don't think. It's just like a calendar picture. Very pretty.
You want to come here and move this around?
Oh, it's here.
Historic Lambeau Field. Inside, more than 60,000 screaming fans dressed in a sea of green and purple, all eyes focused on their favorite team.
The battle on the field isn't the only action going on here today. There's also a battle of pride between the Vikings and Packer fans, both inside and outside of the stadium.
I've been a Packer fan most of my life, and I get dressed like this every Sunday, here or home.
Row after row, the parking lot is filled with cars, trucks, and motorhomes, all decorated with flags, stickers, and even an occasional helmet. This green and gold van is the pride of one Green Bay fan who calls himself the Packalope, one of thousands of Packer fans who follows the team everywhere they go.
You know, they're all over the country. I mean, look at the stadiums, you go to a away game and, they're sometimes half filled with Packer fans, and that's a great support this team has around the country. I mean, here at my van, I meet people from all over the country, all over the world. It's just incredible, and they're all Packer fans, and you feel so honored to be part of a great football organization like the Packers.
Packer fans are known for their crazy spirit and dedication to their team. In fact, a few Vikings fans were so amazed with the sights and sounds of Lambeau, they took pictures to show their friends back in Minnesota.
You can't make this stuff up. Yeah, you really can't. I mean, the antlers. Look at this clown. I mean, they only get it 8 times a year, so let them hoop it up.
We're just taking pictures because no one in Minneapolis would believe us if we came back with this story.
But the dominating colors of green and gold didn't intimidate the fans dressed in purple. They may have been outnumbered, but they say they didn't feel out of place.
Which these people are pleasant. Hey, they're fun-loving. That's what the game's all about. It's not fighting in the stands, throwing beer at each other. It's 60 minutes of somebody got to win.
In Green Bay, Jody Grayson, News 6.
Walking through Blue Vista Orchard, you immediately notice 2 things: the fabulous view of Lake Superior and the surrounding hills, and one of the oddest looking orchards around.
It's the first planting of its kind using a high density planting on dwarfing rootstock. It's the only planting in this area using a high-density planting with disease-resistant varieties.
It's a European method of growing apples that's catching on across the states. Eric learned about it through a friend of his at an experimental egg station in Sturgeon Bay. The trees are kept small with few branches. The way they're positioned on scaffold allows more fruit to grow with less chemicals.
The way it's trained is on a central leader, which is the main trunk, and